What's up, everybody? Jackson here today with my little brother Chubbz.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about Fortnite and its capability of making more money than any other video game in 2019. And what that means, Chubbz. So, if you're unaware of what Fortnite is, you know what Fortnite is.
You know what Fortnite
Even
is.
if in passing you understand that it's a very popular game. They're selling merchandise at end caps at every Walmart in America and probably all across the world for Fortnite. It's a huge game, and it's essentially the Battle Royale, which has gotten it to be as big as it is. And it's that competition, that 99, 1 versus 99, or 4 versus teams of 4 up to 100, so whatever that is.
But appealing to a much younger audience than its predecessor, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Well, there's a lot of people that play it that are older, but I think it's people who like arena games, people who like competitive PvP sorts of games when they play.
Yeah, but they do obviously market it for younger people.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you look at
the art style and some of the emotes and some of the skins especially, you're like, if I was in middle school, I would think that game would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's bright, it's colorful, it has a cartoon feel to the whole thing. You know what's so interesting too is that it was developed initially to be a PvE experience where you would, it's basically, each match ends up being the same. It's a variation of Left 4 Dead or what any other, except for at the end of it, the twist is that you'll discover enemies throughout the day, but at the end of it, when you start the thing to activate the storm thing, to do something, just push back the zombie cloud, zombies come at you, and in that place you build and defend, and there's turrets and towers. There's some tower defense shit going on.
Right.
It's not bad, it's just very basic. And the whole thing boils around this progression system that happens with these items that are all randomized and cards that are all randomized and that are all purchasable behind a bright candy colored piñata.
Yeah.
That plays like a goofy animation. That looks like, it reminded me straight up of the Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, the llama.
Yeah, the llama. That's what the piñata looks like. It's very cartoony, very, and it's this weird thing too where they have this collectible book where you can actually eat those items to unlock different rewards, and in so doing you're basically cannibalizing your progression, and the progression is all random. So it's this was I mean, it was immediately apparent to me upon playing it. I think I played it for about 20 to 30 hours just to get a good honest idea of what's going on in it, and when I played it, it was much different. Right. Since then, they've added hoverboards and all sorts of other things to it. I don't know what exactly they've added, but I know that they've added a whole mess of content to the Battle Royale.
Right.
Via battle passes, via exclusive $20 skins, and all of these things are cosmetic only. Completely cosmetic. And it's all about EP.
Yep.
It's all about looking like the shiniest cock in the cock house when you win that Battle Royale and you have people watching you and it's all about you, man. And like, to me, I despise cosmetic only progression systems. I despise them to their core because it goes in the face of all of these people's defense of these things when they say it's only cosmetic. It doesn't matter. But when the progression is boiling down into a cosmetic farm, then it matters. And that's what the progression is in Fortnite. Like, I'm sure they have some sort of ladder system as well that you can climb.
Right.
Some sort of championship, marks and shit, and you probably get a cool emblem or maybe an exclusive cosmetic at the end of the season for being whatever rank you are. But the majority of the progression system in a game like that, in a game like Overwatch, also,
it all
is
just boils down to that, and the gameplay does suffer as a result because you don't see a as in-depth, intricate mechanic to the gameplay, and oftentimes you'll see even wrenches in the gears in the gameplay, like Shadow of Mordor, the second one,
when they pull it and they say, we've taken them out, and then you get to that end act, and it's essentially, oh, well, they designed this whole end act so people would buy microtransactions.
Yeah, or Star Wars Battlefront 2, where you hop on and you're playing through their progression system.
But still, at least they fixed it. You got to give them
right.
props
At least they
fixing
took it out. But the thing about it is, you can still tell where this was going.
But
this was a system that was intended for you to pay to win.
Yeah, but I think that's a poor example, because now, after the changes it's made, it has an actually interesting progression system where you're unlocking new abilities for classes, and you're unlocking new classes and new, and yeah, there's cosmetics there too, but it's still like, it doesn't feel like Fortnite or Overwatch, where it's essentially it is the same game mode. It is the same game mode that, and that's why another reason it's so popular is because it's very easy to grow a familiarity. And that's why I love that, like, the concern here is that this, and it's not even a concern anymore, it's a straight up fact, that these sorts of gameplay progression systems and PvP oriented games online all the time, with these cosmetic things, they're becoming more and more prevalent, and more companies are drifting towards that style of game. And what's funny to me is the whole point of these games is to be that lifestyle game, that familiarity, that comfortability, that where you can come home after work, sit down and play the one game, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like you have this industry that doesn't understand that it's trying to take each other's audiences, and eventually there's no one gonna be there to play your game.
Right.
Lawbreakers, Battleborn, many others that just couldn't find the community for it that it needed to ensure its survival.
Right.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that nobody found those games and nobody played those games and enjoyed those games, but those games are the result of trying to be one of these lifestyle games with these, you gotta log in every day to progress. You got to be here as much as possible.
On this audience.
Yeah, we need you here all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you want to experience, like, everything our game has to offer, like, within this battle pass that you've now spent 30 or whatever they charge for their battle passes in Fortnite. You're now incentivized to be here every day playing. Mm-hmm. Leveling XP, pushing that battle pass up so you can unlock those things. And that's why battle passes are so brilliant, because not only does it give the player a sense of earned fulfillment,
right?
Because let's face it, a skin that a player earns will always feel better than a skin that a player receives randomly. The skin a player receives randomly will feel good for a moment, but the skin that a player earns is the skin that player is going to use the majority of the time.
Oh yeah.
When I was playing Battleborn Online, I had a few the premium skins, and I didn't ever use them. I used my mastery skins.
The ones that you earned.
Yeah, the ones that marked me a master of the character. Yeah, because it took me, I had to learn that character and play that character many matches against player versus player, because there were no bots back then. Mm-hmm. So I had to grind through this system against other players on characters that I wasn't familiar with, players I didn't know yet, and I had to level them to max and win a match as them as max level.
Yeah.
So that's a painstaking effort to unlock that, and in so doing, I felt more accomplishment and more pride in showing that skin to the enemy team than I would one that I had just bought
for $10.
Yeah, for $10.
Yeah.
And even there, at least it's not random, because and then in that instance, there's the randomization of it where you do get that legendary or that certain sought after skin. And it's immediately appealing, and you love it because it's maybe for a character you've been wanting for, and you love it. But after a while, there's just going to be another one that you're chasing,
right?
Because that's what it is. It's a shell game. It's a shell game with carnival mind tactics built in to keep you pumping money into the system,
Exactly.
And that's why Fortnite makes so much. Because you have an entire group of people, that's their lifestyle game. Mm-hmm. They're buying the battle pass, and if they're buying the battle pass, they're going to be there every day. So I'm sure that not only is their monetary, that they can show their investors impressive, their monetary gains, but I'm sure their player retention and player count, they can show that to shareholders as well, and that probably looks doubly as impressive.
Oh yeah.
Because when you have that system where it's like I'm paying, it's almost like faith. I'm paying money for a tithe for this church. I'm going to go to this church every Sunday because that's part of the deal. Then I get blessings, then I get good things happen, and it
blesses my life eternally.
And it gets you locked into that cycle, and that's what they do with Fortnite. That's what Overwatch did. That's what these lifestyle games are built to do. And the concern is that how many of these things are we going to have to see that could have been really good, like really good games if you just took this bullshit away from them.
Right.
Like, I'd like to see a Shadow of War where this wasn't. I mean, I probably still wouldn't have liked it as much as I could have because the story probably still would have been fucked. But I'd like to see that game with those fun game mechanics and like the orc chieftains and all that shit, farming legendary followers and shit, and pitting them against other people in arenas and like doing all these things. I would have loved to see how that translated when it wasn't all about greed.
Yeah.
When that wasn't the point of all of these systems.
Right.
Was to get them fucking at the shop so they can buy this shit.
Yeah.
So they can feel like they have an advantage over their friends who didn't buy shit. And that'll make them feel awesome.
In a single player fucking game.
Yeah. Well, they had these online
leaderboards.
Where you could have your orcs battle other people's orcs online.
Okay.
Clash of Clans.
Clans.
Via Clash of Clans style. And as your troops won, they would advance in level, but you ran the risk that they could die.
Right.
Right? Because if it dies, then you got to get more. And if you got to get more, you got to spend time playing the game. Which that's retention, that's player time and retention that they can show their investors, that shows them, that's what that retention's all about, is being able to show investors and say, hey, we have them interested. Like, look at how interested they are.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing about Fortnite that I personally, and another problem I have with it is that it does have a young audience.
Right.
I mean, there are people who are older adults who play it, and I'm not trying to knock anyone who plays this. What I'm trying to say is at a certain point, how long can anyone play just like 1 or 2 games?
Right.
At what point are you gonna, and I know that's kind of funny coming from me showing Risk of Rain footage for like the 100th time, because I do play a lot of Risk of Rain, but I also play a lot of other games, and there's a variety, and there's things that I want to experience, and that's the taste. It's like you go to a banquet and you just eat ham the whole time. Like, I just want ham. I don't want any sides. I don't want any fucking baked goods. I don't want any of that fucking drinks, beverages. No, fuck it. I just want ham. Ham's all I need. Ham is the best for me. And that's how I feel about it, is at a certain point, is there going to be this point. And another thing is, with these games, there's a balance that must be struck between respecting player time and investment, but also incentivizing them to come back. The perfect two ways of accomplishing this: Destiny and Overwatch. Destiny tells everyone who buys Destiny 2, everything that you earned in Destiny 1, all of your time and investment in Destiny 1 is now worthless, kids. It's time to start over. And they do it nearly every expansion, the same deal. They did it through the whole life cycle of Destiny 1, and they've done it the whole life cycle of Destiny 2. They devalue people's content, they devalue people's commitment, and they devalue people's time, right? And I somehow they still have a massive fucking audience. I don't understand how. But then on the other side of that, you have Overwatch 2, where they're saying, okay, but this is still like that. These are ways to keep people engaged in your game. A hard reset will, if the player is into your game enough, they won't leave. I did it for years with World of Warcraft. Every time there was a new content drop or a new season of PvP, I took the fucking strike and I started over and I climbed myself back up. But it just felt like there at the top of the ladder, every couple of months, Blizzard was kicking me in the fucking face to the bottom and saying, climb it again. And they were doing that on purpose because they were getting me to pay them $15 a month to play their game. Mm-hmm. Destiny does it on purpose because they do get people to spend more than $15 a month on these microtransactions. Fortnite there's the thing about Fortnite, is that at least it's more respectful of people's time and commitment. Mm-hmm. And investment in that aspect, and monetary investment. Because it's not like they're like, oh, well, Fortnite Season 2.7, now all of the other stuff are unequipable. You can't equip any of those other stuff. here's a whole line of new stuff that you can equip now, but that old stuff's, get over it. It's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Give us more money for this new battle pass and pay us more money, and you can unlock the new stuff we have for you. You know.
Yeah.
So, and they don't do that. As far as I can tell, they do have these insidious loot boxes in the game, clearly focus grouped towards a younger audience. When you look at simply the graphics and everything, and there could also be a technical reason for that because it is low tech. I mean, it's able to run 60 FPS on console and things like that. So it's like and that's probably easier to keep those servers. And I know that that's a huge reason that it flew above and beyond PUBG once it hit the market, was because PUBG was a fucking aimbot's paradise. Chinese gold farmers for days in that game.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is like, I feel like it's not that big a deal. I see a lot of people, and I wanted to talk about it because I feel like it's an interesting thing to talk about.
That Fortnite like won the most amount of money once again for 2019.
Yeah, like for the
this
like many years in a
free-to-play
row.
game that is marketed for a younger audience while still appealing to an adult audience, and it engages player retention with. I think that your comparison earlier about the Carnival game was the best example. It's the same game over and over again.
Yep.
It's just the guy behind the counter is restocking the toys.
Yeah. And
you're gonna win something, but
it is a carnival,
and you will, and it's like you're just going to this one place all the time, and you're picking out a new prize.
And I'm sure you don't have to even do that well. Like, I'm sure in order to unlock those battle passes, like, once you buy them, just playing, you're unlocking them. So it's still like, it's participation shit that you have to buy still. But they may even do some that are free. I don't know. I know that Paladins had, like, a freemium battle pass.
Right.
That you could just get for leveling up, and then the other one was there if you wanted to buy it.
Right.
If you unlocked all those, like, go ahead, buy it if you want. If not, here's some free shit. Most of it was loot boxes.
Yeah.
But whatever. So, but that's the thing. When I think about all of these systems and these sorts of gameplay, where it's a simple mode, it's online all the time, because that's the thing. If Fortnite goes under, it's not going under.
It's not.
Mark Hamill. Mark
fucking...
Hamill is streaming with Ninja.
Wow.
Yeah. So Fortnite's not going fucking anywhere.
Fortnite's not going. It won the most, dude. It made the most amount of money out of 2019. Once again, how long has it been out?
Many years.
It's been out for quite a few years.
At least
now,
3.
right?
At least 3, I want to say.
It's a free-to-play game, and it has continually won a ludicrous amount of money every year that it's out.
It's not winning it. It's just getting people to spend it on it, and that's what
when
I
I
find
say
fascinating
winning,
about it.
I mean as in the industry where every single game coming out on the market is in competition with each other.
Yeah.
And when you take into consideration that, it's not just the fact that these games coming out are sniffing each other's asses and trying to pull off these trending fucking hashtags that are all over the internet, right? To bank off of some fucking ludicrous idea.
Like Battle Royale. It was nowhere, and then PUBG gained popularity, and then Fortnite, you did it, and then it was in everything.
Everything. All of a sudden, Call of Duty's got one.
I think they even put one in Fallout 76.
Yeah. But that's the thing about...
Which is just fucking the perfect place for a battle royale.
But that's the thing.
Trendiest of fucking trendy. You
Yeah.
want to talk about that. Fallout 76 is the perfect example of chasing that.
Exactly.
Lifestyle trend, man.
And that's the thing about that is, so when I say that Fortnite wins that money, I mean that all of these other companies, and not all of them, but a lot of them are looking at Fortnite in direct competition, and their future releases, I fear, are going to become lackluster as a result of seeing this free-to-play game make the most amount of money out of a year when their entire production company is putting millions and billions into a game that, like, people are having to pay $60 for just to buy.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the problem. That's where I think the problem is. But of course, there is going to be the exception to the rule. You know what I mean? Like Gearbox and Borderlands 3 and a lot of their stuff. We still don't know about like the future Elder Scrolls stuff, which I'm iffy about, but I'm still interested in. I just recently saw a game that's coming out January 16th, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Yeah, that looks like way cool.
Open world action RPG with the same fighting system as in the Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse.
Yeah.
Which the Dragon Ball Xenoverse was like an action RPG. It had RPG mechanics.
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty fun.
And so
what I played of it.
Yeah, there are going to be games that look like they're going to be a good time and look like it's going to be worth my time as a consumer, but at the same time, Fortnite making the most amount of money is doing nobody any good favors.
Yeah, at all. And the thing about it though is that I think that the people that will chase that money and that audience is going to do themselves no favors.
Yeah.
Because I think that at a certain point, these people have to realize that there's only so many lifestyle games and only so many people who are interested in that type of game.
Right.
And those people, you're not going to be able to poach those people from a well-constructed system like a Fortnite Battle Pass system where they have time and investment and all sorts of skins and unlockables and collections on there from playing that Battle Royale mode over and over and over and over and over again. You're not going to be able to poach. I mean, you may be able to poach some of Overwatch's audience, but there's a huge portion of people who are excited about Overwatch 2 because they have the monetary and time invested in it with the skin unlocks and all of that shit. So that's the main thing that I would just to sum up the entire discussion is that they can try to make this as like relevant as they want, their game as relevant as they want. They can have a good marketing team. They can have hot people talking about it. They can pay influencers to do videos and do entire theses on the video or the game on their channel and just like pump and fluff and chill all day. But at the end of the day, there's only so many people interested in a lifestyle game. There's only so many people interested in a Battle Royale. And how many of those people are already invested with time and money in a different game? And that's why I think the smart move from any company thinking about starting like a Battle Royale online all the time experience, just don't. Just don't do it, man. That's it for me, everybody. Jax
Chubbz.
We're out of here. Till next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and let us know down below what you think. You play in Fortnite? What do you think about what the changes, and is it fair? What do you guys think? Anyway, that's it. Till next time, stay awesome, everybody. Stay safe, and as always, keep kicking ass. That was a little too much on that, wasn't it? Oh, fuck it. Love you guys.